Today's tutorial is going to be about sizing, resizing, and cropping images. We're going to find an image that we want to use. We use this one. Now, this image that I'm getting ready to open is an image that I took with a camera that's extremely large, and it's going to be really high def. So, at 25%, this picture looks, pretty decent, but when we blow it up, it gets really big, and it's very detailed. So let's bring it back down to 25% so you can see the full frame. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do when you resize an image, which is also good to save multiple copies of so that you have different sizes depending on how you want to use them, is you want to go up here to Image, and you want to click on Image Size. And what this is going to do is it's going to automatically give you the width and the height in pixels of the image. It's also going to tell you the size or the memory of the image, which mine is 25.7 megabytes, and you're going to see the document size, the width and height in inches, and the resolution of pixels per square inch, or pixels per inch. So what you want to do is you want to resize it to your liking. Now, with these photos, I've worked with them a lot, so I already know what size works for me. So you kind of have to play around with it depending on the resolution or the dimension of your photo. So I'm going to choose 1000 for the top, and it's going to automatically do the height for the best possible constraint of the proportion. Now, mine down here is checked to constrain proportions. If you were to uncheck that, you can make either the width or height whatever you want, and it will not constrain it. It won't automatically do that. As you see on document size, it's also changed it by more than half to 5.5 inches and 3.1 inches in height. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And you're going to see the image become smaller. Now, this is not the actual size of the image because remember, we were on 25%. So we want to go back to 100%. And now this picture is in the full frame. When you save this, you can save it as a JPEG and it will stay in this picture size. One of the things that you really want to concentrate on doing, and I can't stress enough, is to make sure that you save it under a different name or retitle it. So you want to go Save As, and I would just type in something Savannah resized, and then you can go ahead and click Save. Now what ends up happening is you'll get a little window that will pop up that will say JPEG options. I have mine set at the quality at 12 and maximum and baseline standard. This is the standard of all JPEGs, and they're universal anyway. So I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to save it. Excuse me. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to resize for a specific function which we are going to use. Now let's say if you have a website and the website has a certain image that's a certain size, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up this image right here, and I'm going to open it with Photoshop, and see this image is on a website. Now what I want to do is I want to get my image to be the same size as this image because I'd like to use it for a background. Okay. Now, as you can see, the Home and Poems button, courtesy of bjpoems.com, is on the bottom. So that is not actually part of the picture. What you want to do when cropping images is use your selection tool right here, which is the rectangular marquee tool. It's the second one down on your left hand side. If you look over to the left hand side of your screen, it says rectangular marquee tool. Now once you have the area selected that you'd like to crop, you want to go to Image and Crop, and then you can click off the screen. Now you have this image here, but you need to know what size the image is. So in order to do that, you want to go to Image and go to Image Size again, and remember, it's going to give you the information. This image is 1000 by 290. So now that we know that, if for some reason you wanted this image as the background, instead of trying to crop it yourself or resize it by using the marquee tool, you can go right back to Image and Image Size, and as you see, 1000 is already selected. But if we try to change this to 290, you will see the top one constrain the proportion. So we want to go to uncheck constrain proportions. Then we want to change the top number to 1000 because that was the same size as the picture with the dolphins from bjpoems.com. And we want to make the bottom number 290 because that's exactly what it was as well. And then you want to click OK. Now this will stretch the picture to the exact size that is the dolphin picture. So if you were to save this in this size, and if any of you working with websites know that a PNG format is an easy way to work with web photos. So we can click save, and it's going to ask us, we don't want to interlace it, so go ahead and keep none check marked and do that. Now, one more thing. Let's say we want to go back. We're going to go to image size, and now unconstrained proportions is not check marked. So anything we change in here is we're going to have to do it both the height and the width and try to get it back. But if you remember correctly, the height and the width was 1000 by 562. Now when you go to put that in there, it's not going to do it right. It's gonna create a photo that's too large and is still stretched. So in order to adjust the image size, you will have to do it manually by going to your image size under image and type in 1000 by 562. Now this brings the image back to its original state, and you can save it, change it, alter it, or edit it however you like. Now as I close these images, one of the things that you want to remember is if you're changing the image size, now that constrained proportion is unchecked, you want to make sure and go back and check mark that, just so that you keep from having to re-stretch photos and trying to figure out the sizes. If you change it and it's not check marked, you might lose the size of the photo and not know what it is. This works with all image sizes. Now, when this photo is online, if you wanted to downsize and change it to an avatar, let's say, or a picture that doesn't need too much cropping when it comes to maybe your Google Plus image or any profile logo, what you want to do is go to image size again, and when you take these numbers down, as long as constrained proportions is selected, the smaller you take the number, the smaller the photo gets. So once you've done it and you've previewed it on the size, let's say we take it down to 400 by 116, and you want your avatar to be a certain size. Well, now it's longer and still, it's smaller, but it's still the same length. It's a longer photo. So what we want to do is, if you want it to be avatar size, select a square or rectangle that you like, and you can hold shift while you use the rectangular marquee tool, and it will make it squared and even. And then once you release, you can move the box around to whatever proportion you want. And now that dolphin is selected. The same rules apply. You can go to image and crop, and now there's your photo. And at 100%, that's the exact size it is. So this is how you would make it as an avatar or profile photo or something of that nature, whatever size you're working with or whatever it is that you want. If you ever mess up or you need to go back to a certain size, the best thing to do is hit Control, Alt, and Z, and you'll see the selection tool, and then you'll see exactly what I've done and the movement and the resizing. And as many times as you keep hitting Z after holding Control and Alt, that's as many times as you can go back. I think Photoshop allows you to go back, 20 times or so until you get to where you want. Or when you go to edit, there's a step forward and step back button, so you can do that as well. So that's a tutorial on how to crop, resize images, and how to use them in various states and functions. Remember, when using images that are very, very low resolution, you will get a lot of distortion depending on your size. So one more quick trick: if you were to blow this image up, which is already in poor quality at this size, there is an option in Photoshop when you go to image size that says bicubic smoother, which is best for enlargement. Now, working with high quality photos or very, very high megapixel photos that are really, really good. If you wanted to blow those up, this would be the best option for you, because this is going to actually allow the pixels per square inch to be different. Now, see, the resolution here is 96. So if I blow it up, it's going to be very distorted. Now, if I change that resolution to 180, it's going to automatically change the size of my picture when I blow it up. So it's going to keep the same resolution that it was at when the picture was smaller as I blew it up for this one. See, nothing has changed on the integrity of the picture. So if you're to use that for a higher quality image, then you will you'll see a much bigger difference, because when you blow it up, it's going to stay that high quality. So that's the image crop and resize tutorial. We hope you enjoyed it. We hoped it helped. And thanks again for choosing CompuFeed TV. Remember to like and subscribe to us. And if you have any emails or comments or anything that you want to send us, if you have anything you want to see and you want to send us requests, go ahead and do so. We love the feedback, and we will catch you on the next tutorial.